what is up YouTube? It's your boy SmackNPie here. So let's talk about Until Dawn movie for a little bit because I've had some conflicting opinions on this whole matter, right? This video, ladies and gentlemen, is sponsored by Eneba. Eneba is a gaming marketplace with over 40,000 digital products. Whether you are a PC gamer, Steam gamer, console gamers like Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, you want to grab these popular newer games or even older games at great prices, why not? I myself had bought many games, many gift cards. I've bought Life is Strange from this. If you are looking for Silent Hill 2 remake, y'all should take a look at this one because it's got great deals. You already know. If I don't use it, I don't promote it. It's got all the needs for y'all. Get in, Neba. Links will be in the description. Check it out. Now back to the video. When I heard that they're making an Until Dawn adaptation movie, I was like, yeah, let's do this. But I had my reservations because these video game adaptation movies, with the exception of few, yeah, sure, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Sonic and all that other stuff, sure, there are some exceptions. And, slowly we're actually getting better in terms of quality. But still, with these types of movies and adaptations, it's still very 50-50 in one, especially with critics. So I was, having some conflicting thoughts and whatnot, but I was still excited and looking forward to it until we all watched the first trailer. That's where we all were like, hold on a second, this ain't no Until Dawn movie. This is a movie, but that is ain't no Until Dawn movie. But okay, I've had my negative reaction on it. I didn't give it much thought. I was like, it's gonna be another disappointment. We moved on until we get the second trailer. See, the second trailer, because I was away from all the opinions and negative things and thoughts and responses and whatnot on Twitter, internet and whatnot, I watched the second trailer and that kind of changed my perspective on this a little bit. Then I started looking more into why they're doing this rather than actual one-to-one adaptation, and this is where, I looked up the interviews, I looked up David F. Sandberg's perspective on the matter and into why we're actually getting this rather than actual one-to-one adaptation, and there's a lot of reason why it makes sense for them not to adapt this game one-on-one, because even when the first time the announcement came, I was like, how are they gonna do that? It's a choices-based game. You can finish the game and kill off many characters early in the story, or you can, save all the characters through the end. That's not a spoiler. That it's a choice-based game. Of course, one or the other will happen, right? But I was still like, okay, maybe they're gonna keep some of the characters and they're gonna choose one canon ending, or maybe they'll play different endings in multiple theaters, right? But I'm glad they chose a different route. Now, this is exciting because if you take off the Until Dawn adaptation, poster off of it, it's actually sounds a very intriguing and interesting movie because it is not just one genre. It is a mixture and blend of multiple genre, right? And David F. Sandberg, the director of this film and the writer of this film, actually talked about in details how they're planning this and why there is a multiple genre. Basically, they didn't want to do a one-to-one adaptation because they said, and it is true, that the game itself is a movie. It's a playable movie, so it wouldn't make sense for them to just adopt the whole thing one-to-one, bringing back those characters. It just wouldn't make any sense. They wanted to tell a different new story within the Until Dawn universe, and they've actually, without any hesitation or shame, okay, shame is a heavy word, but without any hesitation, they said they're hoping for a sequel of this. They're hoping multiple entries, well, not sequel, but multiple, stories that they can tell in Until Dawn universe. And if this works, I can actually see it being a thing. And Sony's 100% backing on this so that they can make a new game in the Until Dawn universe. But we're gonna come back to the topic because we're digressing a little bit too much. We do have Wendigos in here because one of the first things we were like, okay, the vibes are not like Until Dawn, right? If you're gonna tell a new story, at least tell us the vibes. Like, at least give us the vibes for this universe, right? The snow, the mountains, the Wendigos, the, backdrop of psychological horror and whatnot. So this was what, like, if we're telling a new story, at least capture that vibe. So on that matter, I would say, okay, kind of sort of makes sense on that matter, because if you take away that, it kind of looks The Quarry. Not as a bad game or anything. It's a decent story game, but like, it looks Quarry without all the snow and winter. But Wendigos are there, and there are multiple monsters in here. And to explain that better in terms of lore, in-universe lore, the Dr. Hill, who's reprising his role, the character in the Until Dawn game, is actually the key in explaining all of these multiple genre mixing, because once these characters die, they go back in time, they have another turn to survive, but it's a new genre. The rules are thrown out of the window. If they're in, let's say, a slasher, they die at the end of the slasher, the time goes back, and now they're in a supernatural thriller. There's a VHS genre thing in there. So I'm actually, you remove the veil of Until Dawn, you remove the expectations of Until Dawn, and it sounds like a decent horror flick, and I'm actually excited for it. So the only way I get excited for it is that this is gonna expand Until Dawn universe to newcomers, and this is gonna make the newcomers play the Until Dawn, which is a very easy game to play for folks, you know, who watch these video game adaptations for the first time and they want to play the game. Let's say Arcane, right? You watch Arcane, you loved it, you go to Arcane to play it, LOL, and you're like, okay, you know. But this is gonna work out for Sony in every direction. All they need is some couple hundred million, like 100-200 million at the box office. They will deem it as a success, and I will too. But David F. Sandberg, he is a great horror, I just call him magician at this point, because his mind works brilliantly for the horror genre. He's from YouTube, and you should check out his Lights Out stuff. It's great. So I'm really excited for Until Dawn. So that's why it looks different. That's why it doesn't feel like Until Dawn. So absolutely, you should question why they're using the Until Dawn bait, the name, because it's only Until Dawn in the name and the popularity. That's it. But in terms of actual content and actual material, I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm actually excited to see how this plays out. Because for some it works, like Last of Us. It works for them to do one-to-one because it's a different context, different thing altogether. But for Until Dawn, that's not the case. It's a choices-based game. Let me know your thoughts and theories down in the comments below. Check out our Neba, link will be in the description. I'll see you in the next one.